Got it?
Got it.
All right. Hey, once again, you have found yourself dropped right into Hella Vella. And that's the channel where we talk about all things to do with the new exciting serial reading platform brought to us by Amazon Kindle. And today on Lawless Interviews, we have with us today Ginny Young, who writes a couple of different Vellas, and we're going to get to know Ginny and about her Vellas. So stick around. Ginny, how you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me.
You bet. You bet. So tell me when you got started writing for Vella.
So Vella, there started being buzz about it right around the time I published my first novel, Black Falcons. And there was just a lot of speculation about it. And I started writing probably about 4 months before the platform even let people upload. So I had a lot of material ready to go. And
Wow.
I've been posting since day one.
Ooh, that's wonderful. So in day one was what? Because I'm a little late to the game myself. So what do you consider day one? Was that April or May of 21?
Gosh, when did they go live? I don't think it went live until July.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was quite a bit later. It's hard to remember when it actually pushed to readers, but yeah, it all kind of blends together. But I've had stuff ready to go when the platform went live.
Well, that's very exciting. Very exciting. So talk to me, tell me, what is your first Vella serial? What's the name of it?
So I launched 2 simultaneously. The first one is Forgotten Planets, which is a space opera romance adventure story. It's a great time. That one is ongoing. And the second one I launched at the same time is called Service to the Prime. It is recently completed and actually comes out in long form on Monday.
Fantastic. I love that about Vella, that they allow you to have your serial stories, which can be ongoing. And what's the rule? You have to close the serial or say that it's complete 30 days prior to putting it out on Kindle Unlimited or whatever.
Yeah, well, and that's an interesting question, because you don't actually even have to complete your serial in order to publish it on through KDP. It just has to have been done for 30 days. So you could even publish chunks of it as long as they've been up for 30 days. So
as long as that last chunk was up for 30 days.
Yeah, so like you could have it be ongoing and publish, book 1 or season 1, and still be updating your serial fans with season 2 while the other one is selling as a novel or paperback. So that's
fantastic.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And is that how you're going to do Service to the Prime? Are we going to see season 1 Service to the Prime come out as a book and also be available in our Kindle Vella platform, and then maybe a second season of Service to the Prime, or are you all done?
So this one was a standalone. Unless fans beg me for a sequel in the same world, there is a couple of characters that could probably spin off, but I do plan to leave it up on Vella and also have it available in its other forms. But that is what I'm planning to do with Forgotten Planets, because I am just about to wrap up season 2 on there. Ooh. And as season 3 releases to the fans, I will probably publish book 1 and 2, season 1 and 2 as books. And that's kind of a perk for fans, because they can get that ahead of time. They don't have to wait for that next book to release. They can get it, chapter by chapter as it's being written, which is really cool.
Right on. That is exciting. I like it. And I'm pretty excited about the whole thing. Now, I heard you say that you had already published a book, Black Falcons, and that is available on Kindle, yeah?
It is, yes, ebook and paperback, and that is a cyberpunk novel. It's really cool, set in a post-apocalyptic future, which is also Service to the Prime is that. My favorite way to write, so
that's fantastic.
check that one out too.
I'm getting excited about them just talking to you, So I absolutely love this. So tell me, when did you get started writing?
It was actually late 2020, and I did it. I had always wanted to write, and I'd never dared to write anything. I just thought I would fail, and so I didn't dare to try. And everything in the world was so negative at that time, and my mother had just passed away, and social media was so negative, and I felt so heavy in my soul. And I said, you know what, I need a break from everything. And I turned off all of my social media and just dove into this project, to writing. And I'd never attempted it before. And this time I just believed I could. And I wrote Black Falcons in probably 3 months, start to finish. So
Wow.
yeah,
That
it
is
was the
amazing.
it was the perfect escape. And I think a lot of us authors do that. We write so that we don't have to think about our crazy world.
Well, there's that. Yes, indeed, indeed. And then, of course, when you got involved into the Kindle world, the Kindle KDP, the self-publishing world, you learned about this new exciting serial story platform that Amazon was contemplating and then brought out in beta, and then I still think it is in kind of a beta, don't you?
I do too. Yeah, I get that kind of vibe from them, that they're still gathering material before they really push to readers. But I fell in love with it right away. I had never read on serial sites, but I have a hard time committing to books. There's not a lot of things that hold my attention more than wanting to work on my own work does. But Vella is perfect because it doesn't feel like a hard commitment. I can read 20 different stories at the same time. It's just little snippets once or twice a week. And I get to enjoy that without feeling the pressure of feeling like it's an assignment to finish, a 100,000-word novel like we so often do. And I'm not the kind to not finish a book if I pick it up. So it has been just so much fun reading all these different serials and sampling these different genres, and just getting to keep updated on it without feeling like it's a heavy commitment.
Right. And so, the next question I always ask is, have you enjoyed your experience on Kindle Vella? It sounds kind of dumb because you've already told me you did, you have, and you are. But yes, right?
Yes. Yes, I'm enjoying it a lot as a reader, and as a writer. I've really been enjoying kind of the schedule. I guess it keeps me on track because I publish Forgotten Planets twice a week, and I published Services Prime once a week, and now I have a third one that's just started.
Ooh.
Yep, it's called The Fighter's Prize, and it is a sports MMA fighter romance. So that's got a little,
That ought to do well.
yeah, hints of mafia stuff in there. It's a good time, but it keeps me on track with my writing, because I know I have those deadlines to hit for readers' expectations. They're used to seeing these episodes on Tuesdays and Fridays, and if I don't post them, they might be disappointed or might get bored and go find something else. So it really keeps me on track.
I know it's a good way to stay on your toes as a writer. I find it to be that true. And I was going to ask you, are you a pantser or a planner?
It changes from day to day. I think I almost have to be a couple steps ahead of myself to know where I'm going, if I'm going to get there, but mostly I'm a pantser.
I think there are a lot more pantsers out there than there are planners. And that really surprised me, because I thought, I guess I'm older than you are. And of course, when I was in school, they'd tell us, oh, you have to outline, you have to break it down, you have to write, character sheets for everybody and blah, da, hooty, wad, wad. Practically a book before you even started on the book. And boy, that was always really daunting to me. So I never paid a lot of attention.
Well, I think
Kind of went my own way.
It keeps a lot of people from writing, because they think, oh, I can't plan all this thing out. But Brandon Sanderson, the fantasy author. He has a BYU university course that he does on fantasy and sci-fi writing, and all of his lectures are up on YouTube right now for free, which is an amazing resource. So I've watched all of those, and he is a big plotter, but he said plotters and pantsers are really doing the same amount of work. They're just doing it at different times. The plotters do it at the beginning before they start their story. They lay all that down. The pantsers are having to do it afterward. They go in and fix plot holes and different things and try to match things up
Plot
differently.
holes.
So yeah, it's
Like
the
a
same
pothole,
work.
only a plot hole.
Yeah, a plot hole. It's the same amount of work. It's just done at different times, and there's not one way that's more valid than the other. And especially as serial writers, pantsing lends itself to that a little bit more because you have to write a little bit on the fly because you're publishing as you go.
Yes, yes. Now, all that said, have you explored any other serial outfits for your work that you might also publish on simultaneously?
I would really like to. I think my limited time, I'm a busy mom. I have 2 kids. I've got a lot of other community commitments and things. So my time has kept me from doing that. I would really like to. I've heard some good things about some other platforms, especially that do particularly well with romance, although my romance is not explicit. It's fairly clean on the scale. So, but yeah, that's something I would like to look into in the future.
Yes, yes. The one I'm thinking of, I don't know. I haven't seen any clean romances out there. I'm thinking of Radish.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know that I would do well on there.
yeah, they're calling it, what are they calling it? Modern romance or contemporary romance, where it's pretty explicit. But you like to keep it clean. You like to keep it clean where you know that your teenagers can read it and nobody's going to have a big old fitsky because nobody got too far into the boudoir, right?
Yeah. I've got young girls, and I don't want to write anything that I don't want them to be able to read. I mean,
Right.
They don't read now, but as they get older, I want to have things that I can show to everyone. Not that that invalidates anyone who chooses to write explicit romance. I love it. I read quite a bit of it. I have some really good author friends who are amazing writers. Those are definitely valid ways to go about things. It's just not my personal style.
Right. Well, there's room out there for everyone. There definitely is. Now, another thing, what are your you're not going to know this from memory, not all 3 of them, certainly. Do you know what the buzz tags are that you use on your book? The little tags?
Yes.
What biggies?
Well, it's the 3 stories that I have are so different from each other. I'm pretty sure Forgotten Planets is tagged as space opera, sci-fi, romance, adventure. I think there's a strong female heroine tag and an alpha male tag. And I think action and adventure is probably a tag. And Service to the Prime has a dystopian tag. It's definitely dystopian and post-apocalyptic. And they both have sci-fi tags and aliens in both of them. So
do you like those tags and how they work? Do you think they'll be effective for readers to like poke around on them and find like content?
I think they are really helpful, and myself as a reader, when I've tried to find certain things and dig into different genres, I've found them to be helpful.
That's kind of how I go about looking for things, actually, and looking for what's hot in that category. So I kind of like them. I don't know how long Amazon is going to let us continue to make them up. I was really surprised as a former big data person that they even allowed us to do that in the first place and didn't present us with a list that we needed to, pick from. So I was shocked that you could just sit there and type in whatever you wanted, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems pretty effective.
Absolutely. So we know that you've got 2 of them out there already, and you're working on a third. Any
It
plans?
has, the third one has, I think, 11 episodes live, so it's up
Third
there.
one's out.
Yeah, it's out. You can definitely
Oh,
find.
okay. So we'll be able to see that when I put all the links in the description of this video. We'll be able to take readers straight to all three of them.
Yes.
Right. And you're also going to supply me with links to your books out there on Kindle. So they'll be there as well.
Yes.
So the next thing I want to ask you, you're very happy out on Kindle Vella. I hear that. I see that. Now, if you were the keeper of the keys and could change anything you wanted about Vella, what would you add or take away? It can be either.
It's hard to criticize because we've just been given this amazing thing by Amazon that they publish any of our creative works for free at all, and then we get money from it.
I know.
So,
kind of hard to complain.
it's hard to complain. It really is. But I think that featured story carousel is frustrating to me because there's no rhyme or reason to it as to what gets on there, and it's not always things that I think, I don't want to say shouldn't be up there, but it doesn't seem logical the way that it's promoted, and so it's frustrating as a goal-oriented person to not know how to achieve that goal and get on that list. So I wish they would either be more transparent about it or maybe turn that into a recently updated carousel, which would be more effective so that readers know which stories are really having attention to them and haven't been, maybe going weeks without an update.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't human curated. I wish it was randomized myself.
Well, and do we even really know if it is human curated? That's the speculation. Have they come out and said that?
I'm not 100% certain. I'm probably going off a hearsay.
Yeah, I'm not either, and it would make sense that it is, just kind of because it does seem really random, but it's hard to say.
Yeah. So that's your big thing is the carousels down there, the feature carousels.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see some advertising available through Amazon, personally.
And I am kind of glad they haven't gone that way yet, because I think this is a great platform for newer authors who don't have the same money behind them as some of the more successful people who have done well on KDP and things, who already know how to work these ads and how to hit those audiences. And I really liked the way that Vella is just, it's just open for everybody's starting at the same level. And you're not getting promoted because you're selling your stories. You're paying more to sell your stories, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's really just by merit. It's what people are enjoying reading. So that's, to me, I'm kind of glad they haven't opened that up yet.
Well, I'm just wishing for something I don't even know what it is, I guess, because I haven't seen it. So if it's very complex, maybe I don't wish for it.
Hard to say.
Well, and also, what are your social media presences?
Oh, yes. I have a fun TikTok page. Anyone who wants to follow, that's at Ginny Young Author. And I would love to give you the link to that. And I've got a Facebook group called Babes, Books, and Bullets. Babes, Bullets, and Books.
Babes, Bullets, and Books. Nice.
It's a fun one too. And of course, just my author page on Facebook. But there's a really great author community and book talk community on TikTok that I definitely recommend people go check out. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yes, I have heard of it. I haven't spent a lot of time out there. As you know, it's difficult to find a lot of time when you're trying to write and get, and live and get stuff done. But I think it's really great. I think it's a great resource. You done anything with Instagram?
I couldn't get any traction in Instagram, so I just kind of focused my attention in other places. I have an Instagram. I love follows there, but it's not really where I focus my attention.
Right. So your big one is TikTok.
Yeah.
Do anything with Twitter?
Nope.
Me either. And I doubt that I will. I just, like I say, I don't think I can add anything else to my rack of things that I'm doing, as you say. Also, can we also put the link to what you were talking about, the professor at BYU, for a resource
Sure.
for other writers who are listening to this and maybe would like to enjoy that resource as well? It sounds really good. It sounds like a really good one to have. And so what would you like to tell your readers specifically about your books?
Oh gosh, that's a that's a loaded question.
Well, for one thing, they're clean and they can count
Yeah,
on it. And they can count on that. So that's one thing.
they are clean, and they're safe. And they just really, I just love a good sci-fi dystopian feel. And that's really the underlying thing that just permeates everything I write, is that, post-apocalyptic, that grit. So if you like that kind of story, definitely check out my stuff.
Wonderful. Well, there's an entire army of people who that is their jam, and I hope we get to a lot of them with this video, because I know that Forgotten Planets is good. I remember now that I did read some of that. As the moment you said space opera, I'm like, that's the one. I love it. Yes, indeed. It's very good. And let's see. So, well, my goodness, I think we've covered everything about your Vella. Is there anything else you'd like to say? This seems to have gone really fast. Maybe it hasn't, but seems to have.
Yeah, I don't know. This was really great. Thank you so much for having me. And I want to encourage anyone who feels like they're not succeeding on Kindle Vella to just stay in it for the long haul. This is still a very new platform, and I think Amazon is investing in it through the bonuses. And I think the more work they get uploaded, the more they will start to push and advertise. So don't jump ship too early. Stay hopeful. Keep working.
There's been people that have already jumped ship and come back.
I know.
It hasn't even been a year and they've done it,
It's still really new. So
yeah, anything that's less than a year old out in the corporate world is still a tiny baby. Yes. So anyway, folks, this is Ginny Young, author of space operas, dystopic fiction, and it's all clean. Your kids can read it. You don't have to worry that they're going to learn new words that you don't know. And we will have links to everything she's done out there, including her books, out on Kindle, so that you can read the completed works if you'd like to. And follow, like, comment on this video, and come back for a lot more here on Hella Vella, where we talk about all things to do with the exciting new reading platform from Kindle. Thank you very much, Ginny.
Thank you.
Take care.